Hi guys, it's Cameron from Crypto Cam here. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. I just wanted to talk to you about Mark Cuban, our favorite VC, our favorite shark from Shark Tank, and how he is actually going to be investing in an ICO coming up. The same Mark Cuban that actually called Bitcoin a bubble. So this is what we know so far. Mark, he doesn't seem to be worried about initial coin offerings, um, even though they might someday render investors redundant. In fact, the Shark Tank VC is so open to the nascent blockchain use case that he's joining the ranks of traditional investors who support the idea that their own portfolio companies could raise additional capital by selling cryptographic tokens. Now, isn't that interesting? So he's actually joining the foray of you know, rather than going through the traditional method of an IPO and raising funds that way, which can be very difficult, he's actually joining in on the ICO frenzy that's been happening recently, where companies have been able to raise significant amounts of money in a very, very short period of time. For instance, Banco raising over $150 million in the space of just a number of hours, which I find very interesting. So, as a billionaire investor, he's going to find these lucrative ways to raise capital, make money, and I'm sure he'll probably profit handsomely from it. Anyway, it's been widely reported, and he's revealed that the Cuban portfolio company Unikrn is currently circulating an update to its investors about a forthcoming ICO intended to supplement the venture capital that's already raised. Now, unlike other more tentative investors which have shown a reluctance to participate directly in actual token sales, Cuban said he will participate in the offering. But here's what's very interesting. It's a first for the owner of the Dallas Mavericks NBA franchise. Now, he described his thinking as high risk, high reward. So we know he's definitely looking to make a lot of money out of it. Anyway, Unikrn was actually founded in 2014. It's a Seattle-based company. It's an esports betting platform that has already raised about $10 million from investors, also including the likes of Ashton Kutcher, Elizabeth Murdoch, and 500 startups. To let anyone in the world bet with unicoins, they call them, the firm's own digital token, or with fiat money in Australia and the UK. So, obviously it looks like US investors who want to actually use the platform, of course, with our strict laws over here in the United States as far as online gambling goes, will not be able to access the platform. But it's a huge market out there in the rest of the world. Now, in the years since the token launched, Unikrn has transacted over 250 million unicoins, according to the company's founder, Raul Sood, whose plan was always to switch the coin to a more secure cryptographic token. Now, the billion new tokens called Unikrn Gold that will eventually be minted will adhere to the ERC20 Ethereum standard. So, of course, that definitely helps anyone in the Ethereum, who owns Ethereum, who trades Ethereum. It looks like a lot of these new ICOs are actually going to be based on the ERC20 standard. Now, based on timeline in the investor update, the formal marketing of the token will begin no later than August. A launch of the live coin integrated with an underlying infrastructure and wallets is set to go live on the 31st of August. Excerpt from the investor update revealed a breakdown of how shares of the tokens are expected to be allocated. There'll be a total of $1 billion. Partnerships and marketing will account for 15%. Unikrn Betting Reserve will have 15%. Initial token sale will have 20%. And Unikrn Internal will hold 50% of those tokens. Here's what's interesting about the crypto cash infusion is in addition to demonstrating the increasingly supportive stance taken by traditional investors towards ICOs, this latest development shows another trend of venture-backed non-cryptocurrency startups converting company tokens into cryptocurrency that can be exchanged more widely into Ether and ultimately fiat currency. So it's definitely a really, really good way to go these days for companies that they can raise vast amounts of money in such a small amount of time, which they will not be able to do right now through normal channels, and then turn that currency from ether into fiat currency, into US dollars. Um, that probably explains why we've had a lot of fluctuations in the price of cryptocurrency, especially Ethereum, which let's see, now it's now trading. It's actually down from its high, about $290, the current price. Now, earlier this month, social network Kick also announced its own ICO, a development that comes even though it has raised $120 million in traditional venture capital. So, with Kick coming on board, that's going to be probably pretty big too. But Cuban thinks tokens that will be used to fuel online gambling are especially well suited to be converted to cryptocurrency. Growth in gambling is going to accelerate. He said Unikrn is better positioned than any other company to leverage that growth, not only with their core business but with blockchain. He also concluded the ICO opportunity is a perfect fit. So yeah, with him being in sports, and sports betting is huge, I could see how this would be, if there was any ICO out there that he would select, this would be the one. But as always with any ICOs, it's difficult to get in on them if you're lucky enough to get in on them, because of all the competition and the blockchains being congested. I've tried to get in on a couple. It's best just to wait and see how they perform, because in the long run, you might actually be able to pick up some at a lower price. Let's check on Bangkok. We haven't checked that in a while. Let's see how they're doing. And let's have a look here. Oh, wow, it's trading at 328. So it's down a little from yesterday, but up a lot from several days ago. But anyway, it's pretty interesting about Mr. Cuban and him getting into the new ICO with Unikrn. And let's see how it goes. Looks like it's going to be out in August, the end of August, and we'll just wait and see. But once again, appreciate you listening, and please like my videos. Also subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll also be bringing many more out as well. And any questions, comments, or concerns, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thanks very much. Subscribe, and you have a wonderful night. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.